Morning. Well, that's good lighting, isn't it? From day 26 of the Camino. As you can tell, it's still dark outside. We're setting off at 6 because, believe it or not, this is the hottest May that Spain has had for the last 20 years. Of course it is, the year we're walking. It used to be 31 and then storms later. So we'd quite like to get where we're going to. Probably, I think, by about 3 o'clock. It's 6 now. We've got 17 miles to do. Passing through quite a lot of places today, including, significantly, halfway on the Camino Frances, so from St. John to Santiago. So that'll be good. You can get a certificate, so we're going to try and check that out. It's also halfway through our trip today as well. 26 days. In 26 days to go. So I think it's going to be a bit undulating, a bit samey still, fields of wheat and stuff. But that's because we're in the Meseta and that's what they do here. But hopefully we'll see some interesting things on the way. Buen Camino! Holes in the hill here, they were used to house wine barrels apparently. I don't know what people are doing with them now, but I can see some chimneys. Here's the path for the next week and a half. You can see the scale on the bottom is 50k, so that looks like 110 or something. Keep us quiet. Hello and welcome to the end of day 26 on the Camino. We are in a place, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, Bercianos del Real Camino. Helpful that the sign says it on there. Which today was 16 miles, I think. So we're just before the town of Bercianos, which was a relief. It was half a k less. It got really hot, it was up to 31, and I was drinking a lot of water, stopping maybe every half a mile for some water, which usually I can go a mile. I usually discipline myself to have some every mile. I could do without it, but I do discipline myself. We had a nice walk though. It was mainly on a path next to the road, which might not be that interesting for some people, but it was a good path. And one of the things with my hypermobile ankles is that if I don't have a good path, then it makes my pace really slow. So with a good path, I can keep going. It means I'm not on my feet for as long. Today was the second day that we've done 6 days walking in a row. We've never done 7 before, so tomorrow's 7. And we have got 30k to do, maybe 18 miles, a bit more than 18 miles. So we're going off to do a section of the Braille book, if you know what that is. It's basically the main guidebook that people use. But our albergue is about 2 miles after that, actually about a mile off the Camino. But we'll make that back up in the morning, I think, the day after. So it's probably one of the longest days tomorrow. But thankfully, any minute now, it's going to start raining, and to bring the temperature down. As I said the other day, it was a heat wave here. It's unprecedented in 20 years to be this hot. It looks like it's cooling down till maybe Thursday, Friday next week, and then it seems to be going back up into the 30s again. So probably to coincide with having to climb a few mountains next week. But I'll keep you updated on that. When I'm going today, I was thinking again a bit about my body, and I did a kind of body scan and thought about all the things that various bits of my body's been through. Like when I was 9, I broke my arm. I haven't thought about that for years, and then it started hurting. So maybe won't start thinking about injuries I've had in the past. But I spent some time pondering that, and also pondering some other stuff that I kind of put to one side, not processed. So there's something to be said for these paths where you're just one foot in front of the other. It means you've got a lot of time to think. On the rocky paths, at least I spend loads of time just figuring out where to put my feet. It's also a welcome break from overthinking, which I think many of us do these days. And tomorrow, actually, I've got a question that came up today, something that I need to think about for longer term plans. So I'm going to spend tomorrow probably meditating on that and seeing if I can get some insight into what I should do. Anyway, there we go. Night night. Buen camino.